Hey, what is going on, church? Thank you so much for being with us today. Today, we are going to talk about a topic that's not very popular. Today, we're going to talk about failure. And I don't know if you've ever had a moment in your life where you just failed, or you just thought, man, this is a mistake, or this may derail my future, my relationship, something that happened in your life that you thought could cause real damage. Today, we're going to look at Peter and probably one of the top 5 greatest failures in the Bible. So let's pick up our text today. This is John 21:17. It says, "A third time he asked him, 'Simon, son of John, do you love me?' Peter was hurt that Jesus asked him this question a third time. He said, 'Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you.' Jesus said, 'Then feed my sheep.'" And so let me kind of set up the context of what's going on. Jesus has been risen from the grave. And the disciples are kind of unsure about what their future looks like. And so they go back to what they know. They go back to fishing. And they're out fishing all night long and they don't catch anything. And then Jesus appears on the beach and tells them, "Hey, cast your nets over one more time." Well, they end up catching all of these fish. And then the disciples realize it is Jesus on the bank. Peter wastes no time. He jumps in the water. He swims to shore. And there we find Jesus at a charcoal fire making breakfast. And Peter and Jesus begin to have this conversation. Now, it's really important that we notice that there's a charcoal fire. This word is actually only used twice in the entire Bible. It's both in the book of John and it's both connected to Peter. And what this is, it's a literary device that shows us that there are two stories that are connected by a common element. So the first time we see a charcoal fire is actually when Peter denies Jesus. Jesus is standing around a fire and some people begin to question him saying, "Hey, aren't you one of his disciples? Aren't you with Jesus?" And Peter says, "No, I'm not." In Jesus' most fragile and most difficult moment, we see Peter turn his back on Jesus and not only deny him once, but deny him 3 times. This all happens around the charcoal fire. Well, now we fast forward and now we're at our second charcoal fire. And Peter's probably very uncertain about his status and his relationship with God. What is my life going to look like? I have denied my Savior. How can God ever use me after this failure? And we see Jesus asking Peter 3 questions. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? And every time Peter responds, "Yes, Lord, I love you." And Jesus says, "Okay, then go and feed my sheep." And what this shows us is if this is the first charcoal fire, if that's Peter's denial, then the second charcoal fire should be known as Peter's restoration. And what God is showing Peter and what Jesus is showing Peter here is that, hey, I know you messed up. I know you failed. I know you denied me, but I still love you and I have a plan for you. And one of the greatest things that we need to understand is that when we fail, and look, we're gonna fail in this life, and maybe you've had some things happen in your life that you thought, man, God cannot love me through this. The thing is that we need to understand is that when we fail, we are met with God's love and his mercy. Not only are we met with that, but God still has purpose in our lives. So let me ask you this question. Do you need to have a charcoal fire moment with Jesus? Is there anything in your life that you're like, man, I messed up? And maybe you're carrying around guilt, shame, or maybe you're kind of wondering, man, what do I do with my life now that I have messed up? When everything seems like it is ending, what do I do? Maybe you need to just sit down with Jesus and Jesus needs to reveal to you, hey, I still love you and I still have purpose for you. Man, thank you so much for being with us today. I hope you were encouraged by this to know that, man, God is bigger than our failure. Man, be sure to come back tomorrow. We love you so much. Can't wait to see you again.